What's up, everybody? It's your favorite dasher, devious dasher, and this is a DIY dasher episode with an oil change. Super basic, so if you're not into, if you know how to do this stuff and you don't want to watch it, or, that's fine. But I thought I'd put this out there and give everybody an opportunity to kind of look at what it is. And if you like me and my content, then maybe you'll enjoy this. As a full-time dasher, you gotta take care of it, and oil changes are your biggest thing. You gotta make sure you guys keep that car running, and that's the blood in that motor. So just make sure you get it done as often as you can afford and within the parameters. Since I drive pretty hard, and this has got really high mileage on it, I end up putting, I do it about every 2,500. This one was probably close to 3, but just try to do it as often as you feel you need to. As we use them commercially, I feel like it needs to be done more often than like the 5,000. If you have a newer car, you're probably good. This is a 2008, so it's pretty old, and trying to keep the old beast going. I appreciate all of you watching, and of course I will keep doing dasher videos, and this is kind of just another series that I like. Episode 4, we've got episode 5 coming, which is going to be the heater core, and I've got that going. I just need to edit it and put it out here probably next week. I appreciate all the watches. Again, this is super basic, so if you know about cars and whatever, don't put a comment, oh, you're dumb, or this is easy. Some people don't know all this stuff. So this is for them, and hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for watching, subscribing, all the love. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Hey everyone, I'm here in the Freeze Your Ass Out off Northwest Edition for DIY Dasher episode number 4, and this one's just a basic, so we're just changing oil. Super easy. Maybe you're not interested, maybe you are, but just basic. I will show you the stupid oil filter. They put it in the dumbest spot. So stupid. Can we talk about hard water rain? Jesus. It's under a tree, so I think it's all the shit that runs off the tree. Alright, pulling up on these ramps. Sounds good. Bad. Pretty good lineup. Oh yeah, we can live with that. We got a nice kneeling pad for old people knees, and then I got this blanket. It's a moving blanket I had for freaking probably 15 years, but I just started using it for protecting yourself from the ground there, especially when it's cold as balls out. They sell these cheapy at Harbor Freight. I mean, you could just use an old blanket or towels, I guess, but I have cardboard too, but which I put under the oil, but that keeps you from the cold ass. All right, and there's the cardboard of death. You can tell that's been through a few. That's just if I use fluids. I have a nice one too, but I get those like if they're doing at Costco, or like cases of water and stuff, like pallets at like Winco, or maybe Sam's Club in your area. But I just put them under the cart underneath and take them. They don't ever care. But fluids going on there. I use this one because it's fucked up already. Gross. And unscrew this. These little things are like $10 at Walmart, $15. You gotta pop the vent though, because if that fills up, it'll create suction and go. And then, of course, make sure that that's tight. So you don't want all your shit leaking out. Oh, God, I hate this, especially when it's cold. And so what I do too, I seen, is to take this off and let it sit there. So then you can have the airflow kind of go through. I've seen that in a couple places. I haven't quite noticed the difference. I don't know, but I do it anyway. So I just leave it kind of loose there. That way the air can go through and kind of push the oil out a little bit, I guess. So I try to have a bag, that way I can throw like any of the rags. Usually I have the blue towels, but I guess I'm out. And then brake parts cleaner, of course, so you can clean up everything under there. And I try to have all my tools ready. Mine, I just need a ratchet and then a 15 millimeter. This is for the drain plug. And then for I get the special K&N one, which I think it's nicer to me. And then it also has a socket, as you can see on the end, because when I show you where it's at, you pretty much need a socket, and it's almost impossible to get to. Okay, so there's our drain plug there. So obviously we need to try to get my hands in here, loosen it there. I already got the pan kind of ready. So, you know, we'll try to do this with one hand. Alright. Cool part about this ratchet, see, it extends out. Oh, that's tight. There we go. Probably should use a short socket, but that one was easier available. I'll loosen this just a hair before we start gushing out of here. And don't put the pan right under, because it flows out like a hose, so it's not going to go straight down. You got to kind of have it there, because as you see, it's starting to drip, but yeah, it's going to get on my arm, because it always does. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So that's about 3,000 miles. Usually I go a little bit less, but I've been busy lately. So while that's dripping away, we got our plug here. You know, I put a new one on here less than a year ago. That washer, technically, probably should replace it every time. Some of them have like this one's a rubber one. Some have like a foam, not foam, like almost like a gasket material, like a little fuzzy or kind of cardboardy. Those are like crush washers, and you want to replace those. You can get a pack of them at AutoZone or Ace or whatever. But this one's fine. I've always put it back in, and it's been fine so far. Rather, for me, since I do it so much, I'll probably just replace the whole plug. I mean, these are like $7, $8 at AutoZone. That way it doesn't get stripped, and comes with a new washer anyways. You can get ones with a magnetic thing, and they pick up little pieces of metal. Not that, obviously, you wouldn't want that there, but we'll clean this off, get all the goop off of it. So, take our handy dandy brake parts cleaner. spray the shit out of it. Just get all the oil off of there and clean it up. Okay, when it stops kind of dripping like that, ain't got much going on. I'm gonna scooch over here, kind of wipe that off. And then just hand screw this in. So a lot of techs and stuff, you could technically just kind of leave it hand screwed in. You do not tighten this too much, because then you'll strip the oil pan, then you're fucked. You're gonna have to replace that whole thing. So, just a light tighten on that. I just sprayed the brake clean on there and just get it cleaned off before we tighten it down. And we got our socket, and we want to make sure that we're righty-tighty. And we are. Move this back a bit. And just a light tighten. There we go. Nothing crazy. All right, you guys ready for the world's dumbest oil filter location? Yeah, let's put it right next to the downpipe of the exhaust, right above the alternator, or the AC compressor, sorry. So it just drips right down all over. Oh, and then the frame too. So, you know, look at for reference, there's my hand, 2 fingers. There's literally not even enough room for my hand. Dumb. So that's why we got the socket, and that K&N is the only one that comes with that socket on the end, and it'll allow us to get this thing off. All right, sorry for the lighting, but I work with what I got and hold the cell phone at the same time. Okay, so we've got to use that and get it up in there. And the fan's right there too. There's literally no room. So this kind of goes and sits inside the fan housing so I can turn it. Okay, it's on there. That's about all the movement you're going to get. And I started doing this once because I had other filters that didn't have that and had to do the screwdriver and the punch through the damn thing, and then twist it one by one, 1 centimeter by centimeter. So as you can see, this is really annoying. Okay, so I extended the handle out more. It's a little bit easier, get a little bit more leverage, not much. Just don't want to strip that, because I've stripped that nut as well. And then you play the game of trying to get that off. It's coming. Probably start dripping on me here in a second. Okay, Now we're loose enough to kind of hand do it. Oh, my glove ripped, damn it. Great. Well, so this is the access right here. And I literally have to put my hand up there and twist like this. I can't even grab it. There's not enough room. And of course I moved the pan there. If I can get it before it starts leaking too much. It gets all slimy. There we go. Okay, now it's definitely hand easy. And see, there we go. So probably can't really, I don't know if I can film this without getting filthy. There we go. Okay. And it goes everywhere, so nice design, GM. Okay, and just kind of fishing it out of there. Yummy. And you can tell the shit everywhere. It just gets all over the damn place. So as you guys can see, or kind of see, I guess. Here, let me move my light. It just leaves shit everywhere, and then you can't even see the threads there. I mean, how do you expect? You can't get there from above, because if you were to reach down, your arm can't even get down there. So it's like the dumbest thing ever. So dumb. Why not just put it down here? Oh, that would be too hard. So anyways, we're going to take the brake clean and soak all that and clean it up with a paper towel. There we go. I just turned the flash on. So you want to make sure that's where the oil filter sits on. You obviously see you can't reach through there because, that would make sense. But you want to make sure that there's no gasket on there. Because if you double gasket, it won't seal. And then you'll leak all the oil out and blow your motor up. So, yeah. And I'll show you what I mean here. So I can reach it. Okay, so there's your gasket. And you want to make sure it came off with the old one. And then when you're going to put this new one on, you want to oil it. So I just use the old oil. People say, oh, use the new oil. Well, whatever. And since you got your nice pan there, what you can do is I just literally set it on there, kind of twist it around a little bit. There you go, nice and oiled up. You didn't really have to mess with it. So, as you can see, nice new nut on there. And so now I got to fish it up in through there, which, look, it barely even fits. It's so fucking dumb. But I'm going to need both hands for that. Okay, so I got it on there. It's threading, and by grabbing the little bolt there, I can kind of turn it, and you just want to make sure it goes on nice by hand. And this is the other thing that you'll see 1,000 mechanic videos. Don't over tighten it. And you're right, you don't want to crank it down. I probably got to tighten it a little bit more, but okay, so it's basically, it's tight as I can get it by hand right there. Because it'll create some vacuum and suction kind of in there, and it'll just kind of stick to it a little bit more. So that's why they say you don't really need to crank it down. But I'm still going to put my ratchet on there and make it a little tighter. Not much, but a little bit. Okay, so we're going to get this a little bit. I've sprayed up in there, but I'm just going to kind of wipe everything down, make sure it's all kind of cleaned up. You don't really have to do this. I mean, it just helps you identify if it's leaking. Okay, so we're all done underneath here. And I'll keep this on cardboard because I'm putting it on my nice moving blanket there. I wouldn't want to get that dirty. And I'm going to clean all that off, put the cap back in. Then you can just take the jug to like AutoZone or O'Reilly's and they'll recycle it for you. Just has to be just oil though. They don't recycle those, so I just throw it away. Put it in the old bag, shopping bag there. Just take all the rags and shit, put them all in there. So what I always do is spray the rag with the brake clean and then clean off tools anytime I work on the car. That way I got nice fresh tools next time I use them. Just kind of wipe down. You don't have to soak them, but that'll keep your stuff working good. Nice and clean and not grody. So I did forget one thing, and what I always do is I got an extra spotlight. I carry one of these too for when I drive at night, but check all your suspension. Make sure nothing looks wonky. There's not, stuff dripping. You just check your under here, You don't get a good enough look all the time. Just make sure it's all nice and tight and clean looking. And keep your car running. That's your money maker. So obviously I've replaced about 90% of this car, so it looks pretty clean, but anyhow, I'll check all this out and then we still got to fill the oil up. So one thing I seen is a little bit of fluid here, a little wet. And it could be from, filling up top. This car's really, it's old, so who knows? I mean, that radiator, I just replaced it like 2 months ago, not even. But it looks like when I replaced it, there was these are the transmission lines, and see, they're moving around a little bit more than I'd like. And it looks like it might be leaking a little bit. I already put that back on, that little black washer right there. That is there's a retaining clip underneath that, and it looked like it was kind of leaking a little bit underneath there. And see how it's kind of falling off there. So I might kind of just zip tie that. My fluid and stuff's not low, so it's not like hurting it. It's not, gushing out or anything, but something to keep an eye on. I'll probably end up replacing these hoses soon because I didn't replace these, and it could be leaking a little bit out of here or something up on top where I can't see it. But for now, these two were kind of rubbing together. See two kind of right there. It's not focusing, but see it's kind of rubbed on that edge on that back one. So I'm going to zip tie it and keep them apart, or use some metal wire just to keep it from rubbing on each other. And I think that might have made that just kind of a little loose in the thing. But as you see, it's not like totally soaking or anything. It's not really leaking. But anyways, that's all I found. So just want to keep an eye on little stupid shit like that. Keep your moneymaker working. All right, so I use the mobile one, high mileage. I like it. I've tried the purple lightning or whatever, and I didn't like it as much. I just feel like the mobile is kind of the best. I've used the Costco one before too, the Kirkland Signature that you get a bunch for kind of cheap. I didn't like it, but you know, whatever. But so this is 27 at Walmart, 27 whatever, so about 30 bucks. And then this, of course, takes 5.5, and these are 5. So I got one little jug just for extra too, because as it starts getting, you know, towards the end of the oil change, it'll maybe burn a little bit. So I just got the Walmart kind, because the jugs of this, the regular quarts, the smaller ones, are almost $10. So you might as well just get another one of these. That's what I usually do, but being a little money tight, I just got the Walmart one. It's fine. But I can pour this whole jug because it takes 5.5. And then you can get a cheaper filter. You don't have to get that, you know, K&N one. But then you're doing it yourself. You know, it's one, it's done right. And 2, it's tightened. 3, you get to put what kind of oil you want in it. And just, you know, is it worth your time? You want to go out and make the money, and, you know, last time I checked, I got an oil change. I think they were damn near 70 bucks, 80 bucks. So I'm going to be in for half of that, you know, once you already have, if you have ramps or a jack and, you know, all the stuff. But, you know, if you're a full-timer, no, you'll pay for that, no problem. All right, we're going to try to do this one-handed. If I lift it up, it'll flow in there better. All right, well, now we're going to start this beast up. Let it run for a second, and then check our levels. Hood's open. Duh. I just let it run, let that idle kind of come down, and then I'll there we go. There we go, old girl. Yes. Yeah, my door's open too. I know. I'm just gonna come down off the ramps. There we go. Sure it's level, let it run for a minute, and then check the oil. So I was thinking about doing the heater core, but it's getting dark and I need to work. It's late, but the oil was needed to be done, like now. But that heater core is back here, way back underneath there. So that gas pedal has to come out. I have to loosen this, and like, I guess it can go to the side a little bit from the videos I've looked at. And that whole center thing has to come out. This has to come out. So yeah, still no heat. And it's supposed to be in the 20s in a few days, so overnight. So yeah, we're gonna be getting that done ASAP. That'll probably be episode 5. All right, let it set for a minute. I need to get that cover back on too. I was gonna paint it, but I don't know if I can now. It's been so cold. It's probably not gonna keep all these leaves from getting in there. And then, like, look at the cabin filter. I mean, I need to replace it. It's only a year old, but isn't that the weirdest spot for a cabin filter? Usually they're in the glove box. It's weird. Anyway, so our dipstick down here. This light's helping anyways. Let's see this damn thing. Alright, where are we at there? It's not really focusing. Looks kind of on the fold. Okay, it was on the middle of the dipstick, so we're gonna add just a little bit more. Because I know with this, what happens is, once it settles more, it'll end up at the top. And you don't want too much, obviously. Not enough. I can get that set up. I'm just going to use the jug, and we'll pour that out into the jug. And then you can just give AutoZone or whatever the jug. O'Reilly's won't throw it away. My AutoZone throws it away for me or whatever. I don't have to deal with it. It's easier than handing them that and having to wait. I just take that off completely because if you don't, it seems to always get in the shit. So, make sure your vent's open. And start pouring. Okay, so now we need to clear that light. The oil change light. So where is it? There we go. See, 55%. Obviously, it's not right. All right. And so a neat trick. And this works on a lot of cars. You can look it up on Google and stuff, how to clear your light like this. I mean, you could just leave it too. It doesn't really, I don't really even pay attention to it. I just like resetting it because I have OCD and it drives me nuts. But, so we see that it's there, right? We'll go ahead and turn the car off. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the key in and we're gonna turn it to the ACC. And then we're gonna pump the gas, 1, 2, 3, kind of hold it, and then let off, turn the car off. Now, we'll go ahead and key back in, turn it on. 100% oil life. Nice little reset. And the check engine light isn't on. It always freaks me out though, because until you start it, then it turns off. And I've been setting before and I seen it and I was like, oh no, no. But yeah, anyways, so there you go. All good to go, all reset. Good for another 2,500. More if you want, but that's what I do.